Hey everybody, so I wanted to give an update. I'm 6 weeks in. I got my sling off yesterday, and I figured I'd wait till after today because I just went back to PT, and I'm on my way home, and I wanted to give this update, and I didn't want to forget to do it over the holiday, so I'm doing it for my Jeep while I'm driving, and but I wanted to give an update on where I'm at with my shoulder surgery. So, you know, I've talked before about a few things, and I'm going to repeat a couple things real quick. One, I would say get some button-down shirts because you're going to need them initially, no matter what you do. Very hard to lift your arm, put your shirt on. I'm still 6 weeks in. This shirt was rather difficult to put on by myself this morning. Depends how tight it is. But I bought some shirts. My wife bought me some shirts with some buttons on the shoulders. So when you go to appointments, they can just open it up and look at your shoulder. Made things a whole lot easier, and the PA loved it. So that's one. Pillows. You want, you know, you're gonna be wearing that sling for a while. I would get a wedge pillow for your bed. I have a couple. I started out with 2, and I went down to 1, and then last night was the first night I slept through the night, well, no, almost all the way through the night, without a sling or a pillow, you know, a wedge pillow. Best sleep I've had. I have an Oura ring, so I've been tracking it most of the time. I've been doing the shoulder, so I got this right after the surgery, so I've been tracking my sleeping, and it's been terrible. You know, pretty much poor, and I'll say that if you have an Oura ring, it was always, you know, in the 40s to 60s. Last night was 71, which was the best night I had since I had the surgery. So, hope that helps, because I've been tired a lot, and I've been achy a lot. One thing that didn't really prepare me for was PT and how much it'll hurt the day after, 2 days after, on most occasions. So it depends how far they push it, that kind of stuff, and everybody's a little different. But PT, you know, after, you know, a week after surgery, I really didn't have much pain, and I was fine. But when I started, the PT started really taking off. A lot of times I would notice a day or two after, I was just in a little bit of pain. So you want to plan yourself. I've been taking Tylenol mostly, and it doesn't always help. It's just like sometimes it's up into the shoulders and the back. It's just aching, you know. So be prepared for that. Luckily for me, I didn't have to work every day or anything like that, but sometimes concentrating, you know, obviously when you're tired and things like that, just difficult to do. I've been taking a lot of naps. Hopefully that comes to an end now, because you're just exhausted. So, but 6 weeks in, I got my sling off. I know everybody's a little different, but I got my sling off, and I'm starting to do some active movement, meaning I can move it. I really can't lift anything yet. So if you're in a job where you do things where you have to lift something, I'm not supposed to lift anything more than a coffee cup for the next 6 weeks. And 6 weeks after that, I'm not supposed to lift anything more than 8 pounds. So I have another 12 weeks before I can even consider being, you know, fully, you know, back. So just start looking at it like that. And they said, you know, 6 months before they expect full range of motion at the best. So here we are, the 6 weeks in, and PT is about my biggest thing I can say is, you know, I go to PT 3 times a week. Most weeks it's Thanksgiving coming up, so I'm only going twice this week, and I went out of town one time, but 3 times a week, and some days are better than others, but it's always a day or two after, and it's just achy all over. Even muscles that you really shouldn't affect your shoulder, that kind of stuff, just bother you. So be prepared for that. You know, I tried to not take too many painkillers right after surgery, and I mentioned this in my other videos, you know, what I was on, but I did happen to have one. I did PT on Friday. Today is Wednesday. On Sunday, I was not in a good place, and I took one of my painkillers. It made all the difference in the world to help me sleep that night, and got me to relax, got my muscles to chill. So just something to keep in mind. You know, you may want to. And you know, when I went back for my follow-up, I want to say 2 weeks in, she asked me if I wanted more painkillers, and I said no. Going back in retrospect, I probably should have said yes, just to make sure that I had something, you know, to help me in PT if I needed it. So, but I only needed it the one time, and it was just because it was a weekend. It was driving me crazy. So, but they say, you know, I've been told that the real pain begins now, with the active movement and stuff like that, so the pain only gets worse. So I don't know, I'll let you know how that goes, but I can honestly say today I just did PT on my way home, and I feel pretty good. I can tell my muscles are sore because I worked them. You know, they're just not working, and I can't, you know, raise my hand as much, that kind of stuff. So, but that's where it's at. I did sleep through the night. It was nice not to sleep in the chair, and I got up in the middle of the night, and because my arm hurt a little bit, and I just went back to bed. So I might consider something to stop stretching my arm too much down the road, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to hurt. I did order and then somebody recommended it, I ordered like a pulley system to go over your door to stretch my arm out so I can lift it. I've been doing that in PT, so I did order that. That'll be in today, and I'm going to use that over the holiday weekend to help with my PT. I also did, they give you a PVC pipe that's about 3 foot long to do, I guess you'd call it a bench press, and some arm extensions and stuff like that, to use your good arm to lift your bad arm. And I did make one of those in my house. I've used that a couple times. And when I get really sore, sometimes just the movement and the re-stretching kind of helps a little bit. So I don't go too far. I do it very minimal, but I do it, and it does help get that muscles, you know, because they're trying to tighten up and everything else. Like I get very stiff. So, and that pulls everything else out of line. I've noticed my back the last couple of days is kind of not happy. My lower back, which means usually something's getting stiff. So anyway, I hope that helps. I mean, you know, I know there's some other videos out there, but this is just my journey, and maybe your journey's a little different. But I'm always shocked when I talk to somebody else and they tell me something I didn't know, like your pain could get worse after you get the sling off. Fun fact, if I kept the sling on for too long, my shoulder hurt, my arm hurt from not moving it. And I mentioned this in my other video where the first couple weeks my elbow, because I didn't move enough, actually swelled up. So I had been taking my sling off the last week pretty regularly at home, making sure not to do anything silly or stupid with my arm. But that seemed to help quite a bit, because if I sat too long, like I would support the arm in a spot where I'm laying in a chair, and if I stayed there too long, my shoulder hurt or my arm hurt. And so if I moved it around a little bit, I was better. So, you know, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not a PT guy. Ask your doctors, you know, ask your physical therapist. But moving it for me is better than not moving it. And but here we are, 6 weeks in, and you know, pain's not a whole lot better. You know, the first 2 weeks are a little, you know, first week's a little rough, but it's not a whole lot better on certain days. So hope that helps. You all have a good one.